Hello SEO testers, welcome back to another product update video where I'm going to take you through what we've been working on over July and August. Let's get straight to it. So within SEO testing we have our Launchpad here where we have all our sites listed. What you can do now is come into the account section of SEO testing and you can simply drag and reorder these sites as you want to. So if we go back to Launchpad now, we shall see that Money Saving Heroes is at the top, which is great. Come back in and we'll just swap it over. This setting is personal, so I'm only reordering it for me in the account. So basically what I will use this for is put in the sites that I'm most interested in at the top, but it won't affect the listing for anybody else. They can move them around as they wish to as well. The second thing within SEO testing, the dashboard that we've added, is our ranking buckets graph. So what we do every calendar day, we get all the queries the site is ranking for that we can get from Search Console, which is up to 5,000, and we place them into a ranking bucket, a positional bucket, so based on position. So we'll count how many queries are in position 1 to 3, 4 to 10, 11 to 20, and so on. And then we graph those positions for you, so you can see how the buckets are changing over time. Hopefully you're getting more queries ranking in position 1 to 3 and 4 to 10. And that's good for reporting and noticing how you're doing. So we can get rid of the two higher buckets, and you can see on this site here, nicely seeing an improvement in the queries that are ranking on page 1, and we're also slowly improving the queries that are ranking in position 1 to 3, which is great. There's a bit of a gap on this graph, and I'll explain why. So in SEO testing, this dashboard graph, we archive every day, or we have been doing. So we've got over 2 years worth of data here. We go back all the way to April 2020. But within Search Console, we can only get up to 16 months worth of data. So when we implemented the ranking buckets graph, because we want all the algorithm updates to line up and so on, we've got the data we can get, which is 16 months, but then there's obviously a gap where it goes beyond that. So that's why you may have a gap in your ranking buckets graph. Another small but powerful improvement is within SEO tests. So we've always had a description field, but it's just been a basic text field as a description. We've now got a rich text editor, which is really useful because you can add formatting and so on as style into your description of your test. But what's also really, really useful is if you use a separate project management system like Jira or Trello or ClickUp, you can paste in the ClickUp items or even Loom videos like I've got here that are associated with what you're testing here, so that these can be linked through. And you can click on them from the test results page to get either the project task details or the video or whatever you've recorded around this test. So wherever you see a description now within SEO testing, so tests, split tests, and content groups, these all now have a rich text editor for you to be able to add hyperlinks and format the text nicely as you want to. The third and bigger thing I want to show you is we've got two real big features that we've worked on over July and August. The first one is our Keywords Everywhere integration. So with Keywords Everywhere, it's a Chrome extension that will surface query data within Google search results. So it will append keyword difficulty, cost per click, search volume information. And also if you're looking at Search Console as well, it will also append search volume and those fields as well to the tables of data. So what we wanted to be able to do was to bring that data into the query reports of SEO testing. And if we try going to all queries now, what you'll see is basically on all query-based reports, you'll see a Get Keywords Everywhere data button here. You need to have a Keywords Everywhere account, you need to have an API key, and you will set that API key within the account section of SEO testing. But once that's done, you can click on Get Keywords Everywhere Data, and it will load through for you the competition, the volume, and the cost per click by default. You can also choose a couple of other columns within settings if you want to. We cache this data locally as well, so for the calendar month you're in, if you were to request information about this query again, we would get it from your browser cache to save you on some Keywords Everywhere credits. Where I find this particularly useful is a few reports. If I just go to show you these quickly. So new keywords are a set of new keywords that your site has just started to rank for. These are usually off page 1, So the impressions is useful, but it doesn't give you a feel of what the monthly search volume is for this query. Whereas if we use the get keywords everywhere data, we can see what the monthly search volume is estimated for these new queries that your site has started to rank for. These new queries are good because they could be included in existing content. They may be the basis for new articles and content as well. So it's worth keeping an eye on them, and this keywords everywhere data makes it all more useful too. The second report that's worth taking a look at is the striking distance keywords report. So these are queries by default with the default filters that are just off page 1 of the search results. And by doing a bit of work on these pages and these queries, we can hopefully get them up to page 1 into positions 1 to 10, and that would improve the click-through rate and hopefully get you more clicks. So what I want to do is sort this by average position. And these then are the queries that are the closest to getting onto page 1 on average. So if I get the keywords everywhere data for them, what we're looking for is keywords that are just off page 1 and where the search volume is decent. So this one here, Chrome search extension, not particularly great. Or what's keyword cannibalization? 720 a month search volume, and we're just off page 1. So a bit of more internal linking around that could potentially get that up to page 1. Scrolling down, it's a case of looking and finding what are the keywords that are just off page 1 that with a little boost could potentially get up there. We've got a good search monthly search volume. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you is the content groups. So we've had content groups within SEOTesting for a while, and they are more wildly popular than I could have imagined when we built them. So what content groups do is allow you to build up a group of URLs, and then on a monthly basis, we aggregate the clicks and impressions and so on for those content groups together to be able to graph it for you. This is really useful for when you're publishing content or allowed to work on pages spread across a big site, where you can just pluck those URLs into a list and track them as one piece of content to see how you're doing. It's also good from an author point of view as well. You could perhaps put all of the posts that an author has worked on and be able to track how that author is doing on a monthly basis. The downside of them is that a monthly update was quite slow. Obviously, you have to wait to the end of each month for them to update. So what we've added now is weekly content groups. So on a weekly basis now, we will update these content groups for you, and you'll get an email to say that they are done. How to set them up? Well, when you come in to create a new content group, you will get the choice as to whether you want the content group to be a monthly one or a weekly one. This is the only choice. There's no flick in between once you've created them. So I think most people will set up weekly now by default, because you'll want them to update more often, but the choice is still there for monthly too. Okay, cool. Hopefully you found that useful. We've got some exciting stuff coming in September as well, so watch out for the next product update video. And yes, any questions, let us know via email. Thanks, bye.